5 years after we first requested it way back in 2018, we just obtained the Gender-Based Analysis Plus from the RCMP in their efforts to buy new sidearms. And there's no getting around it. Their little feminist study actually showed that we ladies are indeed the more delicate sex. Thank you to everyone who donated at our Special Access Filings and Research Fund at rebelinvestigates.com. You made today's story possible. Today we're looking at the, quote, comprehensive multi-year gender-based analysis plus, or GBA plus, project that aimed to evaluate the RCMP's standard-issued pistol, the Smith and Wesson 5946, in light of the Government of Canada's diversity and inclusion priority from the Status of Women Canada back in 2017. And in these RCMP documents, regardless of how the Liberals constantly preen about there being no biological differences between men and women and trans men and trans women and women, the research conducted on behalf of the RCMP during their seemingly never-ending analysis process to replace the Smith and Wesson 5946 shows that there are clearly differences. One of the reasons for the sidearm replacement was that nearly 60% of female members were flunking their range tests, their Annual Firearms Qualification, or AFQ test. So the government thought there might be some issue with the gun, making it difficult for women members to use. So academics and the RCMP started studying the issue and found good old-fashioned sex differences, the exact same ones we find repeated over and over in the mammal kingdom. Well, those were to blame. Look at this. The first study examined member-involved shooting incidents across 12 years and found that compared to male officers, females demonstrated a lower hit rate, although this difference was not significant. A variety of other factors, such as lighting and distance from the subject, also had an effect on hit rate. Overall, the findings suggested that various features impact shooting accuracy, potentially affecting officer and public safety. In order to better understand the factors influencing shooting ability, a second study was conducted examining officer performance on the Annual Firearms Qualification. Analysis of divisional AFQ data revealed that during their career, more than half, or 58.9% of all female officers, failed the AFQ at least once, whereas less than a quarter, 23.8% of males failed. The findings suggested that differences in shooting ability relate to gender, potentially putting females at a disadvantage. A follow-up study was conducted to more closely examine the reasons for failing the AFQ and to determine whether or not the problems identified truly varied as a function of gender and/or anthropometric characteristics. Basic firearm instructors reported several differences between males and females, suggesting that females were more likely to experience issues with pacing, shot, recoil anticipation, mid-ranging, and fatigue in comparison to males. Approximately 118 members volunteered to have their grip strength measured prior to completing their AFQ examination. Analyses indicated that approximately 21.9% of females failed the AFQ, while 8% of males failed the test. Further analyses suggested that there was a significant difference between male and female members' grip strength, such that males demonstrated significantly higher grip strength scores relative to females. The findings were critical as they indicated what specifically, i.e. grip strength, was contributing to the lower scores by female members. A study was thus conducted to determine which features, for example, trigger pull, if any, might mitigate the effect of grip strength and be best suited to the varying demographics of the RCMP. I guess there really is something to biological reality and sex differences that we just can't get around. And even the RCMP and the government is forced to acknowledge it. And maybe that should have been a consideration before the RCMP went on a recruitment drive to raise female membership to 30% from the current 22%. I'm nowhere near done with these documents yet. I'll still have follow-up reports relating to the communications between the RCMP and the academics hired by public safety to look at the procurement of the RCMP sidearm through the lens of the intersection of gender identity and feelings and emotions. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. The story was made possible through your generous crowdfunding donations to a special investigations website, rebelinvestigates.com. Thank you to everyone who donates to make this important work possible.